recaps. We are following up with When the Devil Lives Within. This is part 4, and I'm sorry, guys. I've been extremely distracted, so please forgive me. But we're going to discuss about like what's next. There has been a postpone to the execution of Mr. Kevin Underwood. And I will be right back right after the intro. Welcome back. It's so good to see you guys. Oh, it's been a minute. I know. Forgive me. I've been slacking. I hope everyone is doing well. Oh, I need to take care of my StreamYard. I guess I'll be doing that after. Let's see. What can we do here? Can we put like a little background or something that's not so I guess we could do that one. That'll work. Opa, it's good to see you. If everyone can hear me, can you type a 1 in chat? Oh, a raid from G2K. Tell him I said hello, hello, hello. And please ignore Nightbot. I don't know how to shut him off. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see if I can shut Nightbot off. Oh my gosh. I know. I chose to do it right now. Do I do it in studio? Oh, thank you. Newman Gaming, it's good to see you. My biscuit butt is here. Mwah, with thee. Oh, Lady O, I love you. Pot, it's good to see you. Blood Dragon, it's good to see you. Oh, everyone is here. So awesome. I'm sorry if I missed someone. I hope I didn't. Okay, let me try to turn off Nightbot. Give me 1 second. Okay. If someone knows how to get to Nightbot, please tell me. I don't know. Do I have to go to studio? Let's see. Settings. Permissions. Community. Here. I'll get rid of Nightbot. I added Nightbot so you guys could like drop your links and stuff. But I don't know what settings to put him on, so I'll turn him off as soon as I find him. Let's see here. Where is his little butt? Oh my gosh. Oh, there he is. Okay. It's been a long time. Yes, it has, Opa. I am so sorry, you guys. I am. Please forgive me. I've been really distracted with just my health stuff going on and the case I've been working on with my daughter. So it's just been a lot of traveling and stuff. And so I just really haven't had the energy to get on, but I am today. So I appreciate every one of you for being here. G2K, hopefully he'll be over soon. It's always good to have him. Opa, Lady, you're always welcome to come up if you want. We will be going over the plethora of this case. So this case is about Kevin Underwood. And I went to like his residence. Like I went there, like where he used to live. And I have to say, it was so creepy. Like knowing what happened in his apartment. The area itself is already like it's beat up in shambles. Matter of fact, here, you know what I'll do? I'll play one of my own shorts. I can do that, huh? Um, so if you haven't seen any of my most recent shorts, I'm gonna play them for you because then it gives you an idea of like how creepy it really was. Okay. And I'm not joking. It was probably by far like it was like going into a haunted house, but without being in a haunted house kind of thing. So I'm gonna share screen, my own screen, as a matter of fact. I hope it has sound. Hold on, let me do that again. Woohoo! I'm huge. Okay. Share screen. Okay, the audio is on. Okay. Okay. So, like, don't freak out. Like the stairs were probably the creepiest part next to just knowing what happened there. And so you pull into this, it's kind of like a U-shaped complex. And they have this like little foyer area in between both buildings. Well, there's multiple buildings, but between the building that he lived in. So like he lived in this building and there's like a little foyer cover and then there's some stairs and then there's the building that she lived in. And she lived upstairs from him, upstairs and across from him. So she didn't live like right above him, but she lived like upstairs but across. And so he got used to seeing her come down every day and, you know, come home from school, go out bike riding, and he kind of like stalked her and stuff. It's really creepy. If you watched any like little bits and pieces of my past shows, I kind of explained like the beginning about, you know, what his whole motive was. And I don't want to totally gross you guys out today, so I won't go into it all over again. But here, I don't know which one's the best. We'll try this one. Wow, that was like forever. I know. Breathe, Inky, breathe. I know. Okay. Wow, that was like forever. Okay. Here's my StreamYard link. Sorry about that. So let me go back and play this again. Isn't that creepy? Like I was in the middle of playing this creepy video and then we got booted off. Okay. Present, share screen, play audio. Okay, check. Okay, I'm going to play this. Okay, you guys ready? Thank you guys for waiting and being patient with me. I appreciate it so much. Okay. Okay. So I'll replay it. Right, oh lady oh? So if you see right here, this is the little corridor I'm talking about. So in that corridor, it's like covered, but you can walk through it. You can see both sides of it. And there's like this creepy metal staircase. Now, I don't know if you can notice in this picture, but these are like all bent. That is not the video. That is actual footage. The stairs are like all bent and beat up. Even the bars are like all bent and just. Let's see. So that was just some of it. I have a lot of footage on my device that I need to get downloaded to the computer, which I will do over the next couple of days and start sharing a lot of the video footage that I took. It's craziness, craziness. You love the music? I think the music fits. It was, it's not very often that I become like kind of like emotional about something, but maybe it's just because I know what happened kind of thing. So it's a little more, I guess maybe I was just a little more sensitive to it because I kind of know what took place there. And someone lives in that apartment. Like you would think that they would not re-rent that apartment. But the whole apartment complex, I'm not sure, Lady O, I think you were there in my live when I was doing the live video feed. Hold on. Or maybe I should have played that, huh? Hold on. Let me go back to my channel. So I did a live and it was very, very short. It was like 15 minutes. I think it was this one. Yeah. So I'll play it. Gosh, I've never really watched what I do. So forgive me because I was really nervous. It was kind of cold. Okay, it was kind of a lot cold and it was creepy. And I feel so like I feel the pain that the parents are going through, not to their extreme, but like I can feel the pain of that whole situation. And I cannot wait for his execution. Like he doesn't deserve to be here. And I really don't say that very often, but for what he did, it was just horrendous. It was just unreal. So this is some of the live video footage that I took while I was there on a live. Yes, old lady O was in there. Okay. Okay. I know she probably could hear my nervousness when I was videoing this.
Welcome to Pinky.
And it was windy, so forgive me.
Check, check, check.
Boy, I had a hard minute of like serious technical difficulties. Oh, here we go.
So we are at
And I'm going
the
to walk
Purcell
you through
Apartments
there.
in Purcell, Oklahoma, boots on the ground of Kevin Underwood's residence. If you can hear me, can you type a 1 in chat?
Great Bill Podcast. It's so good to see you.
Check, check. I might have to oh, you could hear me. Awesome. Oh, Lady O, it's good to see you. So those of you that have been following this case with me up to the date of execution for
And it was so
Kevin Underwood,
windy.
we
Oh
are
my
at the
gosh.
apartment complex in Purcell, Oklahoma, of where this heinous crime took place. I will be giving a little bit of background story on this case before we get started and we start walking around this apartment complex. Let me put it back on, There. Oh, Lady O, it's so good to see you.
Sorry for the repetitiveness, but I'm playing my own
So let
videos.
me get my
So,
notes out.
Oladia was in there, huh? She's an amazing supporter. She really is. If you can connect with her, she has a great
So a
heart.
little
She's a wonderful
background
woman.
history. Kevin Ray Underwood, who was born December 19th, we'll walk and talk. How about that? Who was born December 19th, 1979, was convicted of murder in Purcell, Oklahoma. This is his residence. I'm going to flip this around here so I don't have to hold the phone that way. Authorities had sought out a missing 10-year-old girl named Jamie Rose Bolin, for whom there was an Amber Alert had been issued. Underwood had lived near Bolin in the same apartment complex, and that apartment complex is here. And I'll give you a view of the apartment complex. They have a nice little swimming pool. It's kind of like a little iffy, guys.
So at this point, soon as I hit the concrete, and I said this at Get to Knows live last night, we were doing some horse racing over there, really fun. When he comes in, oh, Lady O, if you can drop his link if you want. Everybody has mods, so so as I was telling you guys yesterday, soon as I hit that concrete, like I had the weirdest, like overwhelming sensation go over my body. And that's the little sidewalk right here. Soon as over here, soon as I hit that sidewalk, I had this weird, overwhelming feeling. And it was just really super creepy.
Little mailboxes.
Handwritten numbers on the mailboxes. And his mailbox, I think, is like right. I think it's like right 15. It's right. I think it's right here.
Who was arrested on April 17th, 2006,
Ooh.
Underwood admitted to the FBI agents and Oklahoma detectives that he had murdered and attempted to decapitate Bolin, telling them, "Go ahead and just arrest me. She is in there. I chopped her up." After Underwood's confession, Bolin's corpse was stashed in a large plastic container and was recovered from his bedroom closet. Purcell Police Chief David Tompkins stated that Bolin's murder was the culmination of Underwood's fantasy to kidnap a person, rape them, torture them, kill them, cut their head off and drain their body in blood, rape their corpse and eat their corpse, and then dispose of their organs and bones. Underwood was convicted of having bludgeoned Bolin's death with a wooden cutting board. Police stated they had found meat tenderizer and barbecue skewers at the scene.
So remember when I was saying they found meat tenderizer in his kitchen? Oh, 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 oh. So remember I was saying, like, you could see through that corridor area, right? It is very small. Someone has a vehicle parked in this little corridor area. Let me shrink myself real quick. I'll move me over here. They have a vehicle parked here. That means they had to drive onto the lawn to pull their car in right there. But over here on this section, this top one, you can see how you can see through there with a small awning. Oh, thank you. Oh, Lady O, see how sweet you are? You dropped Gray Pills channel. You're such a doll. And I think Oh Lady O would do amazing, amazing on here. She has such a good heart.
Which they presumed that they intended to use for the victim's corpse. The trial took place on February 29th, 2008. A jury found him guilty of first-degree murder. The jury recommended the death penalty on March 7th, 2008. On April 3rd, 2008, McLean County District Judge Candace Bullock approved the recommended death sentence. Underwood's attempted to appeal his sentence because it was unconstitutionally cruel and unusual punishment due to his mental illness. He was initially diagnosed with schizophrenia, personality disorder, and his child was later diagnosed for Asperger's syndrome. An Oklahoma City federal judge rejected his appeal. His scheduled original execution was on July 1st, 2022. It was then again, you guys.
Like, I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the footage, but there's like tinfoil on windows. It's like, it's very dilapidated. I was very curious of how much apartments would rent there, and I looked it up, and it's low income housing. Now, I don't know if it was low income housing at the time that this incident took place, but if it was, that's even like worse. That even makes me feel worse, because then it's like, not only he took advantage, Kevin took advantage of a father and a daughter situation where the mother wasn't even living at home and they were already in despair. Like, why? It tears me up.
Rescheduled for December 6th, 2023. December 7th, 2023. Sorry, it was December 7th, 2023, which was yesterday.
Oh, it was that day. It was that morning at midnight that he was supposed to be executed. And they said that they were having an issue with the amount of executions that were taking place, because there was 25 of them to be executed, and they said that that was just excessive. So they postponed it. I'm not sure if it'll be in January. I am keeping track of it, and I will keep you guys posted when the new execution date will take place. Hopefully, it'll be within this next year, and I will be present.
Or this morning. It was supposed to be for this morning. But due to too many executions, there was a hearing that took place that they wanted to spread them out farther. And so there is no set for a new execution date, but I will be staying on top of it. Jim, it's good to see you, Jim. So the scheduled execution was supposed to be for this morning. Sorry, you guys.
Sorry about my video footage. I am not a pro videographer.
Again,
just saying.
They have rescheduled it, but there's no set date yet. But we will find out when that date is and make sure that we are present.
I was kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, what must the neighbors think right now? They're like, this woman is just out here, like, doing like a little news reporting, like videography, like our homes and stuff. And it was kind of weird, but at the same time, there's nothing like feeling like you're there. And it's something I actually I think I mentioned it to Kaylee, is that would be um not entertaining in a weird fun way, but into the case, like you're like there.
Sorry, I was getting my doc together. This is one in Oklahoma, and apartment 115. So we're gonna walk over to apartment 115 where this took place.
Ooh, those little heebie-jeebies are coming right.
Apartment 115. Yeah, I'm gonna walk right. So the corridor that this took place.
It's this
No, she
apartment,
lived up. She lived upstairs.
and maybe drop this again. Okay. Look at these stairs. These are like the original stairs from when this complex was originally built. Like, I don't think they've done anything to this complex whatsoever. None. Zero.
Was attached. A timeout. This is where her barn was attached.
And I was trying to be kind of, because somebody does live there now. Every day. And her apartment was this top apartment right here.
There. So she would come down here after school.
I know. That's what I said. I didn't think there was any updating of the complex either. Mm-mm. So this is the backside. I really didn't want to walk back through there again. I really didn't.
I can see chat, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me.
It is so hard to stream from your device. Like, you can't see chat.
So that was little Jamie's apartment up there. And she used to come out here and play.
Mm-mm. The pool didn't have any water in it. Nothing. It was like bone dry with like this weird green mossy stuff, and it was so dirty.
So I'm going to be doing this today's stream over a multitude of streams because there's some driving that I need to do to go to all the locations.
So I also went by his place of employment, and I was going to go by the prison, but then I came across the information that that they had postponed it. So my next trip out, I will be going by the prison and showing you where he's at, and all that good stuff. So that was the end of that stream.
But this will be our first one.
This town is so small.
It's always good to see you too, Oladio. Kind of windy out. I'm sorry. I know, poor baby. I know. It's horrendous.
So, oh, I have to breathe. I have to breathe because it's still kind of like it's still rough for me just from being there. I dropped the StreamYard link in chat. Hopefully my internet connection clears up here and it stops wigging out on me. There. And thank you. I want to thank each of you for being here and just being present. You know, this was this is an extreme case. And I don't know what about this case that grabbed me, but it did. It grabbed me and I was just like, I'm going to follow this case and I'm going to go through every document they have and just see how they were thinking at the time. Now, this Kevin Underwood, Kevin Underwood murdered Jamie Boland back in 2006. And there wasn't very many documents. It's crazy. No, I didn't go by myself. I did have someone with me, but it was still like, it was still creepy. It was still really creepy. And it's such a long drive. And I'm telling you, it's a long drive. Um, there wasn't too many documents from '06. There was basically the search warrant, which we've already been over, and his initial questioning, his basically his wow, I'm drawing a blank. Got too close to the roots. Confession. And I will not be playing that again. You know, that's very, very heavy. It's a lot of really negative energy that I don't want you guys to have to endure again. And I promise get to know that I wouldn't torture you guys like that. So in May 29th, 2007, there was a motion to continue status of the status conference and motion to set hearing regarding non-compliance of the discovery. Orgy, it's so good to see you, Org. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So basically, Kevin's attorney is like, hey, I want a copy of the discovery. We need to be able to have, a defense. So if the if the DA is, holding discovery against the defendant, like they're holding on to the evidence and they're not sharing it, it doesn't give the defendant an opportunity to, come up with a plan for their defense. Super chat turned off. No, only until the end of January it'll be turned back on. But here, I can drop my banner if you want. There's my little banner for my little Cash App or PayPal, Venmo. Okay. So basically, so May 29th, 2007, he was like, hey, we need some of the documents. We need some of this evidence. We need to be able to come up with a valid defense for him. And the crazy part is that he completely admitted to it. Like he really didn't show any emotion. He only even became sick to his stomach. And I think that was because, he really hadn't eaten. He still had the same clothes on. He still had that smell on him. And so I think that's what it was. It wasn't really him feeling bad for what he did. It was more like him being hungry and miserable and tired and, too much stress. Because the way he was explaining what he did and it was, if you listened to him, the way he explained himself, he was very clear in what his motive was. Very, very clear. My sister lives in Amarillo. I drove right through there. Yes, I did. My favorite place through Amarillo is the American Quarter Horse Association. The little horsey spot. Okay, so on May 30th, another document was filed. It says order requiring the preparation and furnishings of the transcripts. So it says, the defendant was wanting the transcripts from the status conference, which was the document before. He wanted to go back and review what was said in court. He obviously was not happy, but you can't go around saying you've done something and then be like, oh, I didn't do it, and then claim insanity. Oh, I love you too, Orgy. I'm waiting for my picture. So, Org, drop your channel link. You have mod, drop your channel link. Org does these pencil drawings, um, like cartoon character kind of pencil drawings. Is really, really, really good, and like catches you in your moment. Is that a good way to say it, Org? Like he catches you like in your moment, like your theme, and he draws you out. Yeah, it's really cool. He's done some really, really good ones. So this is the affidavit of the search warrant, which was filed on May 14th, 2007. So on this document, it says, I, Lydia Williams, of lawful age, of being first duly sworn upon oath, dispose and say, I am agent with Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation. So that would be OSBI. So like that's like the FBI, but it's like the Oklahoma BI, Bureau of Investigations. Where's my pen? Need a pen. Oh, here's one. Okay. Thank you, oh lady oh. You're so sweet. She is such a doll. You two need to connect, you and Org. Yes, if you haven't already. Okay. So she's been part of the Bureau of Investigations for 16 years based upon her training and experience and the information related to me by agents and others involved in the forensic examination of computers. I know that the computer data can be stored on a variety of systems, storage devices, including hard drives, floppy disks, compact disks, magnetic tape, memory chips. I also know to search computer equipment and storage devices, including the following. Searching computer systems is a highly technical process, which requires specific expertise and specialized equipment. Now, remember that you can erase things from your hard drive, but there's always like this little like snapshot that is saved. And it's like microform, it's saved. And you can always retrieve that information. So no matter how much you try to destroy it, there's still like a little microcarbon copy of it on your device. The only way to really get rid of it is to actually destroy that hard drive to smithereens, is the only way that it's not retrievable by law enforcement. Okay, so it says there are many types of computer hardware and software in use today, that it is not impossible to bring to the search site of all the necessary technical and manuals and specialized equipment necessary to conduct a thorough search. So basically, this is the warrant for them to bring any kind of electronic devices, anything that they find in his home that could possibly relate that incident to back to him through his computer devices or phone calls, etc. So that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a trend. So he basically doesn't have a way out. They can say, well, this was premeditated. Oh, thank you, oh lady oh. Awesome. 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 In addition, it may be necessary to consult with the computer personnel who have specific expertise in the type of computer software, application, or operating system that is being searched, because there is multiple types of operating systems. It's not just Windows. It's not just OS. There's Linux and other stuff. Searching computer systems require use of precise scientific procedures, which are designed to maintain the integrity of the evidence, which is like timestamp dates, etc. Since computers' data is particularly vulnerable to inadvertent and unintentional modification or destruction, a controlled environment such as law enforcement laboratory is essential in conducting. So basically, all this lingo is saying, hey, bring the device, hard drives, cameras, any kind of like data saving device back to their office so it can be um, properly handled. The volume of data stored on many computer systems and storage devices will typically be so large that it can be highly impractical to search the data during an execution of the physical search on premises. Like, could you imagine if someone has like 5 terabytes of data that they're trying to go through? It would be like near to impossible. Okay. And they go on to explain how much data could be saved. And this, mind you, this was back in '06. So they're saying like they're saying that each non-networked computer found during search can easily contain the equivalent of 7.5 million pages of data if printed out, would completely fill a 10 by 12 by 10 room to the ceiling, from the floor to the ceiling. That is a lot. That is a lot. Computer users can't tend to steal data within the computer equipment, and I'm sure everyone has heard of, like private folders, etc. So not only do they have to get into the computer, but they need to make sure that they check for things like privated files or encrypted files. Um, so computers are used to produce or research child pornography or child abuse. It is common for child pornographers or abuser children to use personal computer to be connected to produce still or moving images of research for information. And that's what I was saying. That's what they were looking for. They were going back to look for evidence that would indicate that was his motive from then. So it was premeditated. So he can't say, oh, I just did this on the fly. Um, that he wasn't able to use some other kind of faulty excuse. That is an amazing amount of data. Oh, Lady O, you're welcome to come up if you like. Um, the output of the camera can be stored, transferred, or printed out directly from the computer. Moreover, digital images do not have to be sent to commercial film developers, for they are less likely to be detected. Like, can you imagine like how they did this back in the day before they had digital cameras? Did they really take the raw film in to have it all printed? Like, they would have been busted on spot. Producers of child pornography can be used devices, scanners, transfers photographs into the computer readable format, information retrieved from the internet. If I need to drop a link, just let me know. So it says pornography is often stored on computers or storage media. So basically, this section is, explaining, hey, this is what we're searching for within, this is their guidelines. So when they have a search warrant, they have a parameter that they are required to search in, and that's what they are searching, and only for that specific stuff. So, or specific evidence. Can I just make it to this stream? I don't know what's going on. Okay. I'm back. I know, it's okay. Taking care of my doggy. He had a tummy ache. Oh. Is he okay? Poor little guy. My little pupses. He's down here curled up next to the heater. He had an upset stomach yesterday. And be careful. There is a like a doggy virus going around, so just be careful with your pup. So as I was explaining is like they have set parameters that they're allowed to search, and only within that certain set parameter. So basically what they're searching for is any evidence that's going to lead them back to knowing that this was premeditated, that he didn't just say, "Oh, I fell off my rocker one day and this happened." If you get what I'm saying. I know. I don't know. It's at least I don't have the little lines up there anymore. We'll give him a little smoochy for me. Okay. So it also states that these people viewed children as sexual objects, and that they do. They receive gratification from sexually or physically explicit images of minors. These people collect sexually or physically abusive explicit images of minors, which they use for their own gratification and fantasy. These people rarely, if ever, dispose of sexually, physically abusive, explicit images of minors because those images are treated as prized possessions. That is disgusting. That is utterly disgusting. But we know it exists. So it says these such images are in different formats, such as photos, printouts, magazines, videotapes, and many forms of digital media, such as hard drives, diskettes, CD-ROMs, and other storage. They said CD-ROMs. Tells you how old this is. CD-ROMs and other storage media. They store these images in many different places, including in their home, their car, and other areas under their control, particularly areas that other people are unlikely to access. So they wouldn't store it in a, like plain open site. So it's not going to be in the like entertainment center unless they never have company over. It's something that would be stored someplace like under the bed, in the closet. So on the computer, in private files, encrypted files, if they're that smart to know how to encrypt files back then. They also state, now mind you, this is Linda Williams. So she is like the FBI agent. She's stating to the judge, this is what we need to look for. So this is how they got the search warrant originally. So she's expressing to the judge, hey, this is how they hide this stuff. This is the evidence we need to go look for and to see if it's in the apartment. Okay. So it says these people go to great lengths to conceal and protect from the discovery of their collection of sexual explicit images of minors. They have passwords, access programs, and control encryption written down either with them or in the vicinity of their computer or on their person, for instance, like in their wallet or address book. Someone could have CD-ROM somewhere? Exactly. That's what they were looking for. Anything that had like any past data of his fascination with this sickness. It says these people maintain images of minors with whom they've had contact with. If such person takes pictures of minors depicting minor in nude, there are a high probability that there was minor used to produce the explicit images. So what they're saying is basically, if they have those pictures, then it's very likely that they could have done that to another child or another child in their vicinity, within their realm, could be in those photos. She also states that suspects often keep research on their victims on their computer. So basically, like, him keeping a log of what time she goes to school, what time she comes home, what time her dad comes home, what time her dad goes to work, etc. I know that people will often conduct background checks, name searches to obtain information on intended victims. Now, for those of you that are watching, know or heard of, when people are digging up on you, you know, where it kind of feels like they're invading your privacy, your right to anonymity, and you are a victim. If someone digs up your past, your history, they're victimizing you. And I have had live streams on that too. So please keep that in mind. Um, yeah, it's right here from the FBI. Okay. So it says, I know people often conduct background checks, name searches, obtain information on intended victims, such as telephone numbers, physical addresses, email addresses, credit reports, social security numbers. Through my experience, I know that digital evidence can be stored in a variety of system and storage devices, including but not limited to electronic data, processing and storaging devices, computers, computer systems, including central processing unit, internal and peripheral storage devices, and fixed disks, external hard drives, floppy disks, etc. It says your amphibian also knows from her training and experience that computer systems commonly consist of a central processing unit, which is the CPU of your computer, hard drives, hard disks, floppy disks, tape drives, display screens, keyboards, printers, modems, used communications with other computers, electronic cables, etc., etc., etc. I'm not going to go into all of that. Um, let's move on. So, but okay, so Miss Lydia believes that based on the information related above that I just spoke of, above that the computers and magnetic media previously seized that were located at the defendant's residence have not been searched and could contain information containing the defendant's relationship with the victim, which was Jamie Rose Boland, um, to ensue his fantasies regarding sexual and physical exploitation of the victim's information regarding cannibalism, information regarding death or dying, photographs of Jamie Rose Boland. Like, he took pictures of her. Like, he stalked her. Like, the little one, he stalked her. He also mentioned that there was also a 5-year-old boy that was within that vicinity that he had been keeping a close eye on. He said he didn't have a particular taste. Literally. Information regarding death, dying, photographs of Jamie Rose Boland, died or alive, dead. Defendant's communication with others regarding his thoughts, plans, activities regarding the commission of the above described crimes, including death of Jamie Rose Boland. So they're asking to request email, notes, letters, image files, internet browser history, cache files, record documents, testimonies, telephone records, chat logs, with date and timestamps, digital camera software, downloaded images, games, graphic editing, viewing software, images, internet activity logs, movie files, user created directory and file names and classified images, encryption keys, address books, and diaries. Technology has grown so much since '06. I'm just saying. I still think they should have locked up for life. I think they should be locked up for life. I agree 1,000%. 1,000%. Now you can't be safe with so much device and tech devices and wickedness of hearts. Exactly. People are cruel. They really are. And I don't think that they really realize or think about the damage that they're doing to another human being. We're not, unless you're law enforcement, we're not really here to play detective on our fellow creators unless they're doing something that's blatantly wrong to each other. You know what I mean? It's just not right. And I don't agree with it at all. I really don't. So Lydia said that she believes that she has probable cause to believe that the following information of the property involved in the information exists, which constitute evidence of a crime. So on April 14th, 2006, Detective Mike Morrow from Purcell Police Department, Purcell, Oklahoma, advised me that Jamie Rose Bolin, white female, date of birth 8/7/1995, had been reported missing by her father on April 12th, 2006. Bolin's bicycle was also missing. Jamie Rose Bolin lived at 1000 North 8th, Purcell, Oklahoma. On April 14th of 06, Special Agent Craig Overby, FBI, started a canvass of the apartment complex area. No doubt, Oladio. Mr. Bayer stated that he knew that one of his tenants, Kevin Underwood, who resides in the apartment 115, had been the last person to know that had seen her and had talked with Jamie Rose Bolin. Agent Overby made contact with Kevin Underwood. Kevin Underwood gave consent to search his apartment. Now, he gave consent to search. This is the part I don't get. He gave consent to law enforcement to search his apartment knowing she was in there. So apartment 115, located at Purcell Park Apartments. Agent Overby located a large plastic container sealed with duct tape in the bottom of the bedroom closet. Agent Overby opened the container to observe what he believed to be a shirt that Kevin Underwood described Jamie Rose Bolin wearing at the time of her disappearance. One of the reasons that the law enforcement was even triggered by him was because he said that's not what she was wearing. They said that she was wearing, when she went missing, she was wearing, certain articles of clothing. I can't remember off the top of my head. I believe it was a blue shirt with pink shorts. And he goes, no, she was wearing a pink shirt with blue shorts or something to that effect. And they were very curious of why he knew so much about what she was wearing that day. That means that he had to have seen her since the last time her dad saw her. So she had came home from school that day, went upstairs, changed her clothes, went back downstairs. Craziness. Like he totally tattled on himself. Kevin Underwood stated, "Go ahead, arrest me. She's in there. I chopped her up." On April 14th, 2006, search warrant was obtained by Detective Mike Morrow for property, including the evidence concerning the crime of murder, including personal computers, to include but not limited to the electronic storage devices and disk drives, floppy drives, and memory sticks. They did have CD-ROM. He did. That's why that was brought up, because he said several CDs, one digital camera, one concept camera, one USB drive, and one Apple computer. So that was all the electronic devices. Great Pill, you're welcome to come up. That was all the electronic, I guess, storage devices that were in this part of the search warrant that they were looking for. And after further review of the evidence, they noticed that he had some like really weird, that's not temporary insanity. No, not at all. He had strategically placed like tape and rope and weapons throughout his apartment. So if they were in the living room, he could handle it there. If he, by the bathroom, on the couch, in the entertainment center, like weird places, like he had like duct tape, like, yeah, there's nowhere in there that it was not premeditated. That was 1,000%. And then when he asked for his appeal, He was like, "No, this was not premeditated." And he's trying to plead insanity. That's where they're saying like, "Oh, he had etc." It, no, it's not. I Lady O. That's called El Boncos. So, okay. So on April 15th, 2006, it states, I interviewed Chris Lansdale. Chris Lansdale stated that he was like a brother to Kevin Underwood. Lansdale had been close friends with Underwood since the sixth grade. Lansdale was in the Navy and his parents lived in Purcell, Oklahoma. Newman. Aw, thank you, Newman. I appreciate you. Newman, can you drop your link so others can connect with you? I would appreciate it. Newman does this, like he does these little games. Um, like one of them, like he flies in it, and another one he does some trucking. Pretty cool. Always like fever. I'm hungry. I need to go pee. Are we there yet? I think it's funny, but my brain. Okay. Anyway, digress. Okay. Been in Fort Worth, Texas since May of 2004. Lansdale and Underwood talked on the internet 3 to 5 times a week. Lansdale used Yahoo Messenger. Does Yahoo Messenger even still exist? Someone tell me it doesn't. Oh my goodness. So, okay, so they used Yahoo Messenger to talk to Underwood. Lansdale also stayed the night with Underwood 1 or 2 times a month. So, could you imagine that like he's had this, it's not like he's never had anybody in his house. He has people in his house. People spend the night and he has stuff there. Like creepy. I wonder if they I wonder if they'll spend the night at their buddy's house again after this. Um, he said Underwood liked to surf the web and he downloaded porn from the internet. Underwood and they often had a competition to see who could gross out the other one worse. Now, that makes me question his buddy Lansdale. Like, did Lansdale put him up to this? Does he have the same kind of thought process? Is this guy under like FBI watch for maybe a future incident that could possibly happen? It still exists, oh lady oh. Oh my goodness. That's crazy to me. So that he said that they used to be in competition to who could gross out the other one the most. Sounds kind of Lansdale might need someone to keep an eye on him. Okay. Underwood often downloaded car wreck photographs. Ooh, I can't. I can't even do that. I can't. Oh, lady, oh, you should go check out when he's out trucking. He's like driving a semi around, like, and then he has to park it. Yeah, it's a cool game. One of these days I'll try it. Yeah. Live vicariously through Newman. Okay, about car wreck photos and showed them to Lansdale. Underwood also chatted with a girl in California named Melissa and another girl named Alicia from Purcell. Underwood had a website on myspace.com and he liked girls between the ages of 23 and 29, which at that time was within his normal age range. I believe he was 27 when this happened. So, I mean, he was at least looking at females within his age parameter. It wasn't, you know, well, according to Lansdale. Lansdale never knew of his kinky fixation. I love watching you, Newman. I love it. It's freaking great. Yeah, it's pretty funny, especially when I pop in and I'm like, "Are we there yet? I'm hungry. Can we pull over and get food? What's our in-flight movie, Newman?" Yeah. So on April 17th, 2006, says I talked to Melissa Custer. Custer is her last name. Custer stated that she had chatted on the internet with Kevin Underwood on Wednesday, April 12th, 2006. So I'm going to underline that real quick. And Thursday, April 13th, 2006. On April 13th, 2006, Underwood told Custer a little girl was missing from Purcell. So he told his friend that lived in California, hey, there's a little girl missing. And she was right there. So if you go back and you think about what he said during his video, um, he said, I sat there on the couch talking to her on the phone while the baby was draped over the tub. Sick. Beyond sick. Okay. Underwood was scared that the police was going to come into his apartment and tear everything up. Underwood also stated that he hoped the little girl was all right. He knew the little girl wasn't all right. Freaking insane. Puff Muffin. It's good to see you. Oh, thank you, love. So Underwood was scared that the police were going to come in and destroy his apartment. So he already knew that I mean, if you think about it, other neighbors had to see her over there hanging out while he's, playing with the rat and, playing with their animals and just BSing. Like the other neighbors saw her interacting with him on a regular basis. Okay, so the little girl came to his door and asked to pet his rat. Underwood mentioned the helicopter was flying over the apartment complex. The people were sitting outside his bedroom window. So he's talking to her on the phone. The baby's in the bathroom, and the police are looking all over the place for her. Freaking insane. Insane. Like, how could he eat? I would, I'm thinking about, like, if I do anything, like if say I'm speeding and an officer gets behind me or something, and it's not very often I speed, but say I'm speeding and an officer gets behind me, like I'm sweating bullets. I could not imagine committing the heinous crime that he committed and chilling on the phone talking to my girlfriend or boyfriend in another state. Just absurd. Absurd. Like mentally just not there. Okay. So she also states that she consulted with OSBI, which is Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations, Deputy Inspector John Huntington. Huntington has been in law enforcement for over 25 years and OSBI agent for 19 years. Huntington has specialized training in the area of computer forensics, sex crime investigations. Huntington is a certified forensic computer examiner through the International Association of Computer Investigation Specialist, IACIS, which is recognized by the Association of Experts in the Field of Computer Forensics. Huntington has extensive training in IACIS and High Tech Crime Institute of the National White Collar Crime Center, Guidance Forensic Software Incorporated, and Access Data for Forensic Software Incorporated. Huntington presently conducts computer forensic examinations and the investigations on computers submitted by the OSBI. He has served as an instructor on high technology crime classes offered by Oklahoma law enforcement personnel. So now this is basically giving Pinky put Nightbot to bed. I did. I put Nightbot to night. So that's who this Huntington guy is, John Huntington. So he has 25 years with the Oklahoma Bureau of Investigations, and he specializes in computer forensics. The Kraken team. right? I did because I need to go through Nightbot and figure out what what boxes to check. Um because I don't want it screaming at everybody because I know a lot of us like to put a lot of emojis and stuff in there and then we're just going to get yelled at. So um I know I have to meet up with Scott OFG and he said he could help me set up Nightbot to where like you could drop your links and, do little stuff in chat. I think that would be really cool. Hold on, you guys. I'm going to adjust real quick. My little sock booty fell off. Woot woot. I got my little Christmas booties on. Face red heart shape. I wish I could see those. Oh, it's the little heart with the little wings on it. Is that what those are? Or are they little hands? It's like someone's holding a little heart. I think those are cute. Oh, hold on, Pot Pot. Pot Pot, can you drop your link? There. Can you drop your link for your channel, hun? Excuse me. I would appreciate it. Let me make sure I didn't. Okay, I want to make sure I didn't skip over any pages. So Newman Pot Pot does he does really cool graphics and stuff. He makes like the little picture, like he makes like little graphics, like he'll take your picture and add it to like your what is it called? Your like little avatar or logo, I guess. It's a heart with wings. Yeah, I had to look at it on my phone so I could see it. Because it doesn't show up in chat, StreamYard chat like that. I know, StreamYard needs to catch up with the program. Okay, so it says users sometimes seek and hide evidence and wrongdoings by concealing data within computer equipment and storage devices. We've already read through all that. So basically stating that Huntington is like really well versed and knows how to get through these devices. 1 second, guys. Sorry, my sprinklers went off, so they're like super loud. Okay, so for the above stated reason, I request authorization to seize basically all of his electronic devices, etc. Fully connected to you, Pot Pot. Awesome. Pot Pot, you should go check out Newman. He does like this cool trucking game. Well, he does flying too. He's a pilot and he has a CDL. Yeah. So, okay. So, wherefore, based upon, oh, hold on. I have scratched out in my notes. Okay. So, we're based on the above foregoing facts. We request that the search warrant be issued for said documents. Signed and stamped, dated. So, we got through that one. So, that was basically the professionals in that department in that specific area say, hey, this is the stuff we're looking for. This is what we need. And it's crazy too, because like they had already got a hold of friends and family and they were like, hey, you need to check his devices because there's stuff on there. So this document is, this is the status conference. So there was consumptive analysis, and that was dated on May 9th, 2007. I know they need to allow the emojis. I don't know why it types it out. It says face red heart, face shape, face, red heart, shape, face, red heart. But I can't see what it is. I have to have it loaded. Such a bummer. So on June 6th, 2007, the document for motion for specific discovery, again, this is the defendant, Kevin, is saying, hey, I want the discovery. You're not giving me the discovery that I'm looking for. So he must have known they found something and he evidence. Kevin Ray Underwood by through counsel, and they're asking for motion for discovery, but with this court, the state has compiled in part and in that request. The motion is in addition to, but does not limit, in addition to, and does not limit the former request of discovery in any way. So earlier, back on, what was it? That was the transcripts. I think it was this one. On May 29th. So on May 29th, he'd actually wanted all the evidence that the prosecuting attorney had against him so he could come up with his alibi. Wasn't floating very well for him, needless to say. Here, let me just move this portion of the file in front of me. Probably be easier. So, okay, again, this is on June 6, 2007, motion for more definite certain statement, bill of particulars. That's a lot of like mumbo jumbo stuff. Good vibes. Thanks, Doc. Okay, wait, I got to see what that one is. Hold on. Oh, it's like a little peace sign. Oh, with the little healed heart. It's like a little heart with a little cross in it. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, so on June 20th, 2007, again, motion to dissolve protective order and allow consumptive DNA testing. So basically, they took the protective order off of the DNA analysis on him. And so that would be any, fingernail clippings, blood, hair, etc., so that the defendant could go in and see what they had. So how it kind of works is, so the prosecuting attorney, the FBI, and all of them, they have the evidence, they have it all compiled, and it's protected until a certain set date, and then that is allowed to be shared with the defense. But typically, they hold on to it as long as they can because they don't want to give the defendant an easy out. Oh, well, kind of like on the Idaho 4 case where, the only real DNA evidence they had for that case was a little bit of skin DNA that was on the buckle of the knife sheath case. So it just makes it like, if the defendant knows that's all they have, then they're like, well, I sold it to somebody and they used it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So again, on this one, I was on June 29th, a request for production and motion to compel discovery. So comes the state of Oklahoma by and through Greg Mashburn, district attorney for Cleveland County, and moves the court to issue an order of compelling defendant Kevin Ray Underwood and or his attorney of record to disclose, produce evidence pursuant Title 22 OS Section 2001 and 2002. In support of this motion, the state alleges and states as following: the defendant in here is charged with murder in the first degree and set for trial on August 13th, 2007. On March 8th, 2007, the court entered in ordering and state the defendant to complete discovery by June 25th. So that's like his end of his discovery. So like that's his end of, okay, well, this is what I have and this is what's going to defend me, basically. So um the DA is saying, hey, we want to know what you're going to say. That's what it's asking for. Jelly bean. Okay, that's a motion to dissolve protective order. This is this transcripts. Let's see. What is this one? So for this, I don't know if it's relevant, but for this, this is the witness endorsement. And there was 114 witnesses that they had subpoenaed into court. Thank you, Newman. Newman, when are you going live? Do you have a live already set up? When are we going trucking again? When are we going trucking? So on 25th, 2007, it says, now comes the state of Oklahoma. Plaintiff herein gives notice to defendant that during the punishment stage at jury trial in the above noted case is an intent to state to offer testimony and written reports for the nature of the victim's impact evidence, which testimony and evidence shall be addressed the financial, emotional, and psychological and physical effects of the death of Jamie Rose Boland upon a member of his or her immediate family, including information about the victim, circumstances surrounding his or her death, and the manner of which his and her death was perpetrated, and why the victim should not have been killed. And so this is like basically for the victim impact panel. No, took a short break, but be willing to return soon. Okay. Well, when you set it up, I'll make sure that everyone knows. Because you guys got to go check it out. He has some great vids. It's so fun to watch, especially like if you're into flying and traveling and stuff. Like I love to travel, so it's always kind of like fun to like live vicariously through someone else. I like watching traveling videos. Actually, like when people are traveling, because it's kind of like you're there, especially like in other countries. It's really fun. So it states that the evidence that will be presented through the witness, Regina Childs, who is related to the victim, to wit, aunt. This is her aunt. That the witness will be asked certain questions addressing the above noted factors, including but not necessarily limited to those listed, and expect to testify in conformity with the summary statement. So when the family victims were drawn up, it was basically to share like what the baby's, demeanor is and how she was and how she behaved. And, like she loved to draw and things like that. So it can be very compelling on a jury when they hear about what her mannerisms and stuff were. So these are the subpoenas for each of them. You're welcome, love. I appreciate you. So on June 25th of 2007, the district attorney filed on the 21st Judicial Court of Cleveland County, Oklahoma, amended the bill of particulars in repunishment. So basically they changed it like the offense of murder in the first degree was charged with original information was committed by said Kevin Ray Underwood named herein should be punished by death due to the result of following aggravated circumstances to wit. So he didn't just murder her. This was aggravated murder because of the way he did it and what he did to this baby. So the murder was committed for the purpose of avoiding or preventing lawful arrest and prosecution. The murder was especially heinous, atrocious, and cruel. And at the present time, there exists a probability that the defendant will commit criminal acts of violence that would constitute continuing to be a threat to society. And so this is saying we don't want him to just have life in prison for murder, because this was beyond just murder. This was like aggravated murder where he tried to decapitate this baby. He had every intention on sexually abusing this baby. So he didn't just kill her, but it's aggravated. So they were trying to change the ruling for, instead of it just being a life sentence, that it's the death sentence. This is more, okay, that's more subpoenas. Also on June 25th, 2007, it says the state's notice intent to offer in live photo comes now. The state of Oklahoma noticed therein the intent to offer into evidence a photo showing the victim of Jamie Boland while alive, to show her general appearance and condition pursuant Title 12 OS 2403. Photographs states intends to be provided to the defendant in her alive and healthy state, not in her deceased state. Those photos I will not be sharing. It's yeah, no, I can't do it. Nope. Okay. On June 27th, we have agreed to order to compel to release the deox acid evidence for the defendant for independent expert examination and evaluation. So this is like the DNA testing. So they're wanting the release of the DNA evidence. Now on the 27th of June, in this case comes for the consideration request the court to order the production of certain items relating to the DNA. Having considered such request as well as the agreements made between the parties, the court finds that this order shall be issued pursuant the terms below. Any and all analyst notes, documents regarding the case, including copy of the case file, notes, raw data, and peer review. All items and evidence, including samples, cuttings, and swabs, possession and control of OSBI, as identified in the OSBI criminalistic examination reports, lab number 065307. So all the Xerox copies and the gene scan data. So like when they run your DNA, you get like your gene analysis, and then they compare it with the items that they found. Laboratory protocols and serology and DNA, PCR, laboratory interpretation guidelines, copies and inspection and quality assurance, copies and inspection quality control, and also the other Xerox copies, documentation where and how each item of evidence was and currently stored. So I can't remember. I think it was Kaylee. We were talking about a video, a forensic video, and I was mentioning to her in her chat that anytime you have evidence, it has to be kind of like a library book. It has to be checked in and checked out, and everything has to be documented, or it loses its continuity. Like it's no longer like valid. So if it kind of, how do I explain it? So it'd be like having, like, say this document, right? And say I didn't properly release it to another party, then that this document could have been altered in some type of way. and they could say, oh, well, it didn't get released to me the proper way, so the valid is no longer useful. And the last thing that a DA wants is, um, DNA or evidence that could have possibly been corrupted or contaminated or lost, destroyed, etc., in transition of it being relocated. If I'm talking too much, just tell me, because I can ramble on sometimes. I think I put everybody to sleep. I'm so sorry. I hope I didn't put you guys to sleep. Really, Newman? My voice is so scratchy. I'm sorry. When I talk a lot, my voice gets like all but I appreciate you. Okay. So on June 27th, wow, a lot of these were filed on June 27th. That was a busy day for the court clerk that day. Okay, so petition for certificate of court for attendance of out-of-state witnesses. I am not going to read through all of them because there is a lot of them. So this is basically the summons for all the out-of-state witnesses to come in for the trial date. Okay, so this is another bill of particulars. I can read through this one. This one's pretty interesting regarding introduction of crime scene photographs and physical evidence. Okay, maybe I'll do these two and then I'll start these ones tomorrow. The motion to quash bill of particulars and declare the death penalty unconstitutional. Can you believe that he was like, the death penalty is just unconstitutional? He was like, it was like cruel and unusual punishment. He obviously didn't think what he did was cruel and unusual punishment. Like, freaking get a life, dude. Oh, Lady O, are you listening? I love you guys. You guys are great. Sorry, I sat on my foot too long. I'm putting my foot to sleep. Okay. So, more definite and certain statement regarding bill of particulars. Okay, comes now the state of Oklahoma by and through Susan P. Caswell, assistant DA, and files more definite certain statement of this statutory aggravating circumstances asserted in the bill of particulars, and that was the bill I just read, where they wanted to take it from like murder one to aggravated murder. Aggravated circumstances asserted in the bill in particulars in re-punishment filed in the above styled numbered case. In the bill of particulars filed by the state, and the state alleged that the murder was committed for the purpose of avoiding and preventing law enforcement of arrest and prosecution. 2 was the murder was especially heinous. 3 was at the present time, there exists probability that the defendant will commit criminal acts of violence and would constitute a continuing threat to society. I thought I just read this. Dang nabbit. Okay. The murder was committed for the purpose of avoiding and preventing lawful arrest and prosecution. As its first allegation in the bill of particulars, the state will incorporate all of the testimony evidence in the stage of the trial. The defendant told S.A. Overby, so Sergeant Overby, and he told him about killing Jamie Bolin. He struck her in the head with a cutting board 3 to 4 times, trying to knock her out. When this did not work, he placed his hand over her mouth and nose and held her in the manner until she died. Um, so I'm marking that spot because if you go back and you listen to what he stated in his questioning, he stated that he had to do it multiple times. So sad. Punishment stronger against pet abuse and against child. I know. I know. I know. I know, lady. Um, so I think when they worded this, and this may have been one of the reasons why he was able to appeal this, was because he mentioned during his confession that he had done it multiple times. Defended as soon as he started to hit her, he had wished he had not started. He stated that also in his statement. Clearly, by the time that he knew that he had committed a vicious and wrongful assault and battery with a dangerous weapon on Jamie Bolin, he had to kill her to avoid arrest and prosecution for the crime. She knew him and could identify him. Well, yeah, she was your neighbor. Aw, I love you, Kaylee. I'm simpy for Swampy. Kaylee, you're welcome to come up if you like. Hey, girl. Hey. How are you doing today, Kaylee? Can you drop your link? Newman Gaming would probably connect with you also. He likes this kind of stuff. Yes, 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 ma'am. Okay. So he knew that he had to complete what he started because he knew that she would be able to identify him later. Medical examiner Dr. Jakob, I don't know if I'm reading that correctly. Thank you. Will testify the injuries on her body. Jane Bolin consisted with blunt force trauma to her head. She would also testify to the remaining injuries to her body to cause the manner of death as okay, yeah, in her report on the autopsy. The murder was especially heinous, atrocious, and cruel. So if you're just jumping in, going over the document of how they're changing it from just murder one to aggravated murder because of how he committed the crime. So as to this allegation in the bill of particulars, this will incorporate all the testimony and evidence from the first stage of the trial. In addition, the state will offer additional evidence to show the murder was committed by Underwood was especially heinous, atrocious, and cruel, and caused her significant mental and physical pain, injury, and suffering. Defendant told Sergeant Overby and Mag about killing Jamie Bolin. He described his pre-planning to them. So right there, he described the pre-planning in the in his confession. He described it, so it was premeditated. He can't go back and say, no, I went crazy. I'm pleading insanity. He just can't. I can't even believe he even attempted it. About the pre-planning to them. Okay. And then he had been thinking about it for a month. A month. That is like a month that's yeah. I don't want to get all hostile. Ugh. And he's still alive. Okay. He's locked up, but he's still alive. Okay. For a month, about 1 year earlier, he became interested in cannibalism. At first, he wanted to eat someone. And then it turned into wanting to have sex with her. He was going to grab someone, and that someone he favored. Okay. Someone, and he favored this girl, Jamie Bolin. He planned to duct tape and cuff them to restrain her. That didn't make any sense how they wrote that sentence. He planned to duct tape and cuff them to restrain her. If he grabbed a child, he would make them watch porn and have sex with them. He would then torture her, stick large objects. Okay, there's some of this I'm not going to say. Okay, I'm going to skip over it. I'm sorry. It's just very vulgar. It's very explicit. So please forgive me. I have to skip over some of this. While bound and gagged. Um okay, let me skip over that. Okay. He expected and wanted to become sexually aroused. He bought the supplies to carry out his plan and then acted on his plan on April 12th, 2006 with Jamie Bolin. He stated that Jamie Bolin entered his apartment to play with his pet rat. So, let me go back to let's see. Right here. That looks good. I just got chills thinking about how creepy he is. Yes, I know. Me too. I know. Oof. Oof. It's so hard for me. Okay, there you go. So he stated that Jamie Bolin entered his apartment to play with his pet rat, and then while he was on the floor, pursuant to his plan, he hit her with the wooden cutting board, sufficient to cause large bruise to the scalp, per the medical examiner. So Jamie lived up here. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but she lived in the top over there. Not this one, but the one across. In the top right hand apartment. He lived directly right there. He lived directly in this apartment, which is right next to me. And so she would come downstairs. I guess one day she was, just coming in from playing or whatever, and she noticed he was outside, and she noticed that he had a pet rat, and she asked to pet it, and she became kind of friendly with him, and then she would do it regularly. She would come by and say hi and want to come visit his pet rat. I know. Yeah, I have to skip over the disgusting stuff. If you want to listen to the disgusting stuff, you can go back and watch one of my previous videos where I actually play what he's saying. But I don't really want to repeat it again. I promised G2K that I wouldn't. It's very hard. Okay. Okay. I had to skip over that part. Okay, let's see. Cutting board is sufficient. Okay, medical examiner. After he hit her, she cried out, "I am sorry." He hit her 2 or 3 more times, and she was screaming, "Oh God, I'm sorry." She had jumped up and began struggling with the defendant. She said, "Let me go." He said, "I won't." Oh, she said, "I won't tell." He said, "I won't." He desperately struggled desperately and then struggled to hold her. He shows carpet burns on his knees to the agents. So this is basically explaining everything that we saw in the video, because he pulled up his pant legs and was like, "Look, I got carpet burns." Like, I really had to struggle. Like, he was proud of it to a point. Like, it's just beyond me. The struggle dragged out for 15 to 20 minutes until he thought he had killed her. At that point, Jamie Bolin was on the floor on her stomach with the defendant on top of her, with his hands still covering her mouth and nose. He describes that one time She slipped out of his grip and she reached out to grab things um and opened a toolbox. He opened a toolbox on the floor, but then when she went limp, he stayed he stayed on her for a couple more minutes just to make sure she was dead, as Jamie could still get a bit of air through his fingers. More minutes to make He had to stay on her for more minutes to make sure he was dead. It says, but Jamie could still get a bit of air through his fingers through the grip. I guess so when he covered her face, like he had left his hands wasn't sealed, so she would um catch her breath. Oh, that's freaking horrifying. Um and then he would have to start all over again. It took another 5 minutes to get her to go limp. When he was pretty sure she was dead, he got up and put duct tape on her mouth and nose so that she wouldn't be able to get oxygen. So that little baby, she fought for every moment of her life, even after she went unconscious and she came back. He did it again. OSBI located the cutting board, the toolbox, the duct tape in Underwood's apartment. The manner of Jamie's in the manner of Jamie's death described by Underwood is consistent with the findings by Dr. Jacob. She will testify to all of her findings containing within the report of the autopsy. She will further describe the manner in which her body responded to asphyxiation. Jamie consciously suffered serious physical abuse, physical anguish prior to her death. Dr. Jacob found stomach contents in her mouth of, of Jamie Boland consistent with vomiting and choking during the attack of Underwood. The above described plan and the manner in which it was planned was carried out in the wicked and evil and carried out with indifference to the suffering of Jamie Boland. Further, the defendant enjoyed the suffering of Jamie Boland. He described to the FBI that he became very aroused and an erection while he was killing Jamie Boland. And by that time he was done killing her, his underwear were soaked from pre-ejaculation. Sorry, guys. All of these facts make for the murder especially heinous, atrocious, and cruel. So that was part 2. Part 3 is at the present time, there exists a probability that the defendant will commit the act of violence that would constitute a continuing threat to society. If he gets away with it once or he gets out on good behavior, he will commit again, especially sexual violent crimes. Sexual violent offenders are not rehabable offenders. I'm sorry, but they are not rehabable offenders. They cannot be fixed. It is a illness that they cannot fix. So to statement 3, to making it from murder to aggravated murder, it says, as in the third allegation in the bill of particulars, the state will incorporate all of the testimony and the evidence from this stage of the trial. In addition to the state will offer further evidence to show that in the future, the defendant would commit acts of violence and would constitute a continuing threat to society. The defendant Underwood was cold, calculated, and completely unremorseful with regard to the murder. Defendant told S.A. Overby and Mag about killing Jamie Boland. He described his pre-planning to them that he had been thinking about it for a month. That 1 year earlier, he had become interested in cannibalism. At first, he wanted to eat someone, and then he turned it into wanting to have sex with her. And then it goes over all that stuff again, which that part I'm not going to read. It's just reiterating how the laws are written. Sorry, guys. He stated that she entered into his apartment to play with his pet rat, and while she was on the floor, he hit her. Okay, and it goes over that again. So this is to say that he will recommit. So now they have to come up with something new in this motion. Okay. She was moved to the yeah, I can't read any of that. Okay. I'm sorry, I have to read through it to see where I can start reading again. Okay, so after all the gruesome stuff, it says defendant expressed that he greatly enjoyed the suffering of Jamie Bolin. His acts were callous and heartless, without mercy or remorse. He described to the FBI that yeah, I already read that. Okay, and that, yeah, okay. So what they're saying is that because of his behavior, his mannerisms, and how he was able to express himself and why he did it, it shows that he would recommit again. I'm sorry if I missed anybody's chat. Pot. Okay. Let's see. Also recovered from Underwood's computer OSB D. Okay. Are 6 photographs pertaining to or depicting death. The first photo is nude anime character being sliced and eaten. The second photo of an infant with caption baby doom. Knew that knew they all had to die. The third is an infant in a cooking pot on the stove entitled baby food. The 3 remaining photos are of an autopsy of a woman. Defendant exhibits abnormal and morbid fascination and obsession with death and torture. Defendant told SA Overby and Mag that he deleted the porn, death photos, and websites with crime scene photos from his computer when the police began looking for Jamie Bolin. He said the closest thing he had to child porn was 4 or 5 pictures of a 10-year-old child in a bathing suit. He said but he had also deleted them. He also said that he had DVD of Manson and investigative methods. He also downloaded pictures of a woman on cooking spits. Oh, those are those. What are cooking spits? Is that like the skewers? Is that like the thing that you stick the pig on? Oh, it's foul. So basically he said that he had got rid of it all, but yet he did not. They had found some. Okay, so we have a hairdresser that worked at Supercuts. Her name is Elvira. It says on April 7th, she cut the defendant's hair, and he commented on the picture of her 1-year-old son. He talked of her son's nipples, although not in the photo, that it was unfair for girls not to show their nips, in other words. So he wasn't even like shy about it. Like he was talking about like this kind of stuff in public. So this basically was the motion being granted to change the ruling from, murder 1 to aggravated murder, to where he would get the death sentence. Okay, my last one for today. Okay, waiving the hearing. Okay, so this is the motion in regarding introduction of crime scene photos and physical evidence. And then we will book through the rest of it later tomorrow. So let me grab up the stack that I went through so I can separate them. Kaylee, when are you going live next? If you have one already set, can you post it in chat? Pot. Okay. So motion. Newman. Making me blush. Okay, so on July 10th, 2007, there was a motion regarding introduction to crime scene photographs and physical evidence. The defendant, Kevin Ray Underwood, moves this court for an order prohibiting the introduction of cumulative and prejudice crime crime scene photographs of the victim's body, and evidence taken subsequent to the homicide for the following reason. Now, why do you think that he would not want these photos presented to the court? You know, because maybe they would compel the court to say, you did this heinous crime and you think it's okay. Just saying. That's exactly why he doesn't want them in there. What is depicted in the photographs of the victim and the evidence of the crime scene to be proven through less prejudiced evidence of technical investigation and testimony. Many of the photographs are merely cumulative in nature and have no probative okay value in establishing any issue in this case. Their prejudicial effect greatly outweighs any minimal value that they may have, and thus their introduction to the trial serves no purpose other than to shock and inflame the jury. Exactly. It's the jury has to understand, man, even the pole on the side of that building looks like it's going to collapse right here, right at the edge of my picture. Jeez. Like you don't, if I was a juror, I would want to know like his thought process. Like, where's this guy's head at? Like, why would he do something like this? It wouldn't be to actually like see the photos themselves, like, but it would be like to really grasp what he did. Like, he didn't just smother this baby. He went way beyond that. And that is the whole point of, the DA is like, no, we need to show the jurors, why you need like not just, life in prison. This is why you need like death sentence, period. So it says, basically that's what he's asking for, is for them to redact the photos and say, nope, we're not going to use the photos. Needless to say, he lost. Those photos came out. Everything came out. The whole procedure seems to have been unnecessary and was highly prejudicial and forces a reversal. For those reasons, Mr. Underwood requests pretrial ruling finding that the autopsy and post-autopsy photographs of the deceased victim are inadmissible. No, they were admissible and they did get admitted. Even if the photographs and evidence are to be utilized by expert witnesses as basis for an opinion, they do not need to be admitted into evidence. Yes, they do, because they are evidence. That's what validates the autopsy. You take photos during your autopsy so you know what goes where. And yes, crazy. I can't even believe that he attempted so many times to try to get out from underneath the murder charge. He tried to get out on just on the basis of insanity, when he premeditated it a year in advance, by far a year in advance. Jim, it's good to see you. So good. Okay, we made it through quite a stack, you guys. So I'm going to flip this around so I know where I left off. And I will do my best to stay on top of it, and we will continue on. So the next section is going to be motion to declare Oklahoma's death penalty. So this is where Oklahoma says, no, we want the death penalty. We don't want life. And I might be able to squeeze it in. Should I try to squeeze it in? So this is the motion. So on July 10th, 2007, the motion to declare Oklahoma death penalty statutes unconstitutional under, So defendant Kevin Ray Underwood moves to declare Oklahoma's death penalty statute unconstitutional under the 5th, 6th, and 8th, 14th Amendment. Yeah, he wants to say that it was just unjustified, unusual, cruel and unusual punishment for him to have lethal injection. And I will go over this on tomorrow's going. That's what we're going to go over. How does that sound, guys? Oh, Lady O, I think I put her to sleep. Kaylee, it's good to see you. Pot, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. Jim, thank you for coming in. Newman, we need to go trucking. Newman, so fun. If you haven't connected, you guys, please connect. There's some great people here in chat. You're freaking awesome. No, you're freaking awesome. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to hop down and get some rest. Maybe I'll go play some COD. Who knows? Maybe I'll just be goofy. So tomorrow we will go over him trying to get them to change the death penalty. What his reasoning is in it. He doesn't have a good reason. He's a dingbat. Shouldn't even be around. But I love you all. Mwah. I appreciate you all being here. Stay and watch the outro.